Hey guys, it's Caden. Welcome to another episode of Get Prepped Podcast, where we talk to voice actors, nonprofit leaders, and business owners that are going to be in the new game. Get prepped. Today, I'm a bit of past my bedtime because I have someone join me all the way from California. He's been in several productions, from Batman to Pirates of the Caribbean to Zoolander, has Lenny Kravitz's stand-in. And he's even done some casting directorial work, including for a short called Male Booty, out of all titles. He is LeJon. Thanks for coming on, LeJon.
No, thank you for having me, for being interested in who I am and what I'm doing. That is the ultimate compliment, of anyone, I believe, especially someone in my business, which I love to share what I do. And so if anyone wants to hear, it's a win-win.
I definitely respect that. My first question for you is, how did you get into voice acting?
Um, Many ways. Number one, I come from a very talented family. So, and I was the youngest of four boys. And I was the only one who didn't have a great voice. My mother and all three of my brothers like won contests and sang all the time. And I was the one I could sing in choirs, whatever. And I was really good in boys in glee clubs and things like that. Great. I was always the perfect tenor, and so great voice, but didn't have that, like, oh, in those days. But I tell that to say that acting and entertainment is always around. So when I was 10 years old, I'm a member of All People's Christian Church. And when I was 10 years old, our church decided to put on plays for the neighborhoods. And so the director decided to do A Raisin in the Sun. That's the Negro plays. Some people wouldn't say Negro spiritual play, written by Lorraine Hansberry, and it's about a family who's living in the ghetto, and they're trying to get some money that is coming to them so that they can get out of the ghetto and move to a much better place. It's dangerous, it's ugly, it's depressing. They need to go. And so then in that film, there's a mother named Ruth, and my mom played Ruth. And in the story, there's a little boy who's 10 years old, and his name is Travis. And I played Travis when I was 10 years old. So that was my first time on stage and an entire play. As the youngest one and a kid, I learned the whole entire play, and so that there were times when the adults would be like, "Hey, what's my line?" We were on stage. I mean, I had like a very few lines, but if I needed to throw them a line, it was great. So at that young age, I said, "Okay, I can memorize an entire play, and if I ever need to do it, it's been done."
That's definitely a great way to get involved
Oh, oh,
in
and
acting.
and and I loved it. By the way, yeah, I have to say that I loved it. You love the applause. I love seeing them perform. We go to different towns and perform this, and it was always great. It was always great. All the audiences, because I learned as a child, you have different audiences, but on that level, though, everyone was appreciative. This is one church members going to another Christian church, so we never got any boo. Good. you know, Nothing negative ever, and so it was a great experience.
Definitely sounds like a great experience, and I love Langston Hughes' work. I remember reading Raisin in the Sun specifically when I was in middle school, so that's a really great play to start out with. My next question for you is, what was your favorite role to take on?
Wow, I suppose I have to. This is really a good question. I'm a dancer. I used to dance on Soul Train when I was in high school in 1975. So I'm a dancer from my core. I dance on American Bandstand sometimes. I don't know if you have to Google those names. American Bandstand was Dick Clark, and Soul Train was the host. Don. I just forget his name. I'll begin
Don
to
Carlson?
huh? Don
Don?
Cornelius. Don Cornelius. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, he was the host of Soul Train. The Soul Train line. You know that show, the big
Yeah, I
afro.
remember Soul
Yeah,
Train.
I used to have the big afro and all of that when I was in high school. Again, that was 1975. So I say all that to say, and then so right now I guess I'm portraying my favorite role, playing me, which is really great. But it's written by someone else. But it's a director I worked with before. His name is Victor Dos Santos, and so it's an untitled Christmas project right now, and it's about me. It's okay. He plays with the truth and then puts things that aren't true, right? So in this particular story, though, okay, let me go back. January 23rd of this year, I discovered that I was cancer free. So I had prostate cancer. And on January 23rd of this year, 2025, the doctors called me and they said, LeJon, your last blood results show that the cancer's gone. You're cancer free. So, number one, that's like, whoa. So, therefore, Victor took this story up, and he's a character named LeJon who, in this story, they tell me I have cancer, and then we do all this big stuff like the Make-A-Wish programs that come to the house and grant me whatever wish I want, and I'm getting a lot of fame and publicity for being such a nice guy and for having cancer. And then on this one, the doctors call me in and they say, "Oh, we made a mistake. You don't have cancer." But I don't tell anybody that I don't have cancer because I'm getting the trip to Las Vegas and prizes, and so it's kind of that story of me dealing with myself. Am I really gonna take the trip, and how long am I gonna carry this charade off? When are you gonna tell the truth? So things kind of catch up with me by not telling the truth. But of course, it is a very interesting from our road trip to Las Vegas and then back home. A lot of things happen, and my very own 91-year-old mom plays my mom in our film. And so we shot at my home yesterday all day, and it was just great. It was just so great. Yeah, wonderful experience.
That's definitely a unique answer. I've gotten to that question, and that sounds like an amazing movie. I'll be on the lookout for it. My next question for you is what's a funny or challenging onset or in the booth moment that you'd want to talk about?
Challenging onset. Oh, there's so many. I mean, like I'll tell you, okay, when I worked on Pirates of the Caribbean, I was an extra on Pirates of the Caribbean 2003 Curse of the Black Pearl. So you could see me on the deck doing the film. But when I was in Dead Man's Chest #2, came out 2006, and that one, I was actually part of Captain Jack Sparrow's crew. When he would leave the boat, there's only like five of us. I was his rifleman, so I carried my musket to make sure that I keep my captain safe and alive and not harmed. And so on that trip, we worked on the film for a year, and we were in the Bahamas for 6 months, and we were on the Atlantic Ocean a lot of times too, right? And so here's this time when I'm on the ship, and this is nighttime, and the ship is really moving, and it's kind of rainy, but they water the ship down with hose because there's some things they spill, and if they want to make it look like that, it's really raining hard. And this is a real ship that's made of wood. So I'm on these steps, and I have to run up these stairs carrying a candle. And if you see I was just interviewed by another podcast this is called Real Talk by Sherry Severs and Tom Anderson, and she actually took the footage out of me like running up those stairs with the candle. I'm only in the background while Captain Jack Sparrow and the foreground people are doing it, but you see me in the background with this candle. And it's so crazy because as I'm running up there, I'm like, my foot could slip and I could fucking break my neck. I mean, that's scary. And I've got this candle that I don't want to go out. And then I did my first take, and then the director said, that was great. Just do it faster. And I'm like, and at that point, you say, you know what? Do I say, you know what? No, I could have broke my neck that first take. Why do you have to do it again? But of course, that would be considered being a diva, being an actor that's difficult to work with. So you have a choice, of course. And I chose to say, God, get me through this, please. And so again, we started the action again, and he said action, and I ran up there faster, and I was just praying the whole time. And I can almost feel my foot like it wants to slip. But I'm like I said, I'm a dancer by nature. So I think those skills of being a dancer, even with boots on a wet wooden floor, go faster, please. Faster. We did it 3 times. He wanted it faster all 3 times. I didn't die. I didn't slip. I didn't mess up the scene.
That definitely sounds challenging. I couldn't imagine holding a candle while running up a ship. Yep, I'm glad you were able to get through it, and it resulted in a memorable part of Disney history. My last question for you is, if you could take on any voice role, past or present, who would it be and why?
Like a real life character, or any role that is in any movie.
A cartoon, in a movie, in a video game, anything is fair game.
I would love to be. Actually, I would have loved, but it will never happen. To be directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Okay, if I could bring him back from the dead, he did The Birds, Psycho, um, Alfred Hitchcock, just a genius. And I don't know, when I was a kid, the Alfred Hitchcock show would come on at night. He had all these different. It's on now. Some of these, Me TV and Feed TV and these things. Alfred Hitchcock is a genius, and just a man like that can write these stories and have these distinct characters. And and you never really know, of course, when you see the final, what is it? Is that actor really talented, or is that director really, really good, or maybe both, or maybe a little bit, whatever. All those little ingredients go into a great, convincing character. And I've been so blessed to work with Spielberg and just a lot of major directors. Gore Verbinski, like I said, Paul Schrader, and each one of them have their own distinct touch. But they, for my levels that I worked on, they were all phenomenal. And I'm not just kind of kiss butt, but even from Batman, when I think about being on that set, and it's so funny because the director, he would come out, everyone's like frozen when and you know who I'm talking about, the director of Batman, Dark Knight Rises.
Christopher Nolan? I know
Yes.
exactly who you're talking about.
And so it's like he'd walk out and everything stops, and he gives this, he tells whatever he has to give his direction. I need my 18 to come in a little faster, and we're gonna run and do the same thing. And it's like a pin could drop. And we talk about maybe 200 or 300 people that are all there, and everyone stopped, everyone's quiet, and then he says, "Action!" And then, and I'm just going, "Oh my God, this is really crazy." It's like such an experience. You feel the energy and the rush, and just like, wow, you're alive at that moment, and this is something special. It feels that way.
That definitely sounds special, and I agree. Alfred Hitchcock is definitely a genius. I used to watch the Alfred Hitchcock show on Hulu when I was in my teenage years.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying, a lot of young people don't appreciate this. I see you're an old soul. Okay, go ahead. Continue. I shouldn't interrupt you.
Thank you, sir. I've been exposed to all realms of entertainment. And anyways, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much to LeJon for coming on and sharing his story. If you guys want to see more amazing interviews with those involved in Get Prepped, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Get Prepped channel. And to learn more about the game, scan the QR code here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Don't look at my IMDb, LEJON, IMDb.